Are your mornings working against you instead of for you? Do you feel rushed, overwhelmed, or you just feel like you can never get things done? In today's video, I'm going to share a flexible morning routine framework specifically designed for women over 50. One that adapts to your needs, energy levels, and goals. Make sure you stay until the end because I'll be sharing my current morning routine, and I'm also going to share a downloadable guide to help you design your personalized morning routine. Hi, I'm Anneli. I'm a wife, mom, grandmother, a nurse for over 30 years, and I'm excited to share with you all my experiences with morning routines, and there's been many, and how you can apply a morning routine that really works for you into your own life. This seems a little bit silly because I remember the days when it was just about survival, and there's no way I'd be planning a morning routine. The morning routine was to survive the morning. So let's talk about why traditional morning routines often fail for women over 50. I think I'm just like anybody. I love watching people's lifestyle videos and learning about all the things and having a sneak peek into their lives. And then I get all excited when I see something that really I think might work for me. And I try to incorporate these things into my life. But a lot of times, these videos and these morning routines don't take into account the energy levels and the responsibilities and the goals that we have when we're over 50, because I think they changed tremendously from a decade ago and a few decades ago. Probably what worked for us in our 20s, 30s, and 40s isn't going to work for us now due to, in part, because of our changing hormone levels, our energy levels, and just the increased demand on our time by all the various people in our lives. I really think that there is three key elements in an effective morning routine for somebody that's over 50. The first part is, and I think you're not going to be surprised by this, but getting adequate sleep. And adequate sleep is different for everybody. And for me, I have found that 8 hours is the sweet spot, and I have realized this when I don't set an alarm and when I've gone through the sleep cycles and after my dreams and I'm starting to wake up, it's usually around the 8-hour mark. So that's what I work best on. And there's no way you can have any kind of an effective or great start to a day or good morning routine if you don't get enough sleep and proper sleep. There is so much information out there on, sleep hygiene and ways to get appropriate sleep, healthy sleep. I've even made some videos on them earlier, so you can look back in the library, but there's a lot of information about that. So anything you can do to optimize your sleep so that it's actually really beneficial for you is going to set you up the best for the day. If you skip this portion, you're going to struggle a bit more in the mornings. Not only does sleep support your physical health, but it supports your mental health. And that's why it's so important, because you cannot have your brain functioning as well as it can if it's lagging and not being optimized with the benefit of a good night's sleep. Number two is understanding your natural energy patterns. This is really important because we're not all built the same. I used to think that I wasn't a morning person. I really thought that I did best, in the evenings, but that's only because that's the only time I had. It's when the kids were asleep and all the rushing of the day was done. But I'm not an evening person, at least not anymore. And maybe because of life situation, that's when I was at my best. Now there's no way. So you have to kind of realize or learn, and you probably do know this already since we're at this age, what is the best time of day for you. I have realized mine is the morning. It's when I can focus better, I can concentrate, I can retain information. I am even more creative, like I can come up with ideas, and it's the time when I have the most energy. If you're the type of person that takes a while to wake up, you feel more sluggish, your body feels slower, you feel like you need to really take things slowly in the morning, it's good to identify that, because the purpose of a good morning routine is to set the intentions for the day. And it's also when you're feeling like you're not getting things done, when you feel like the day has escaped you, it's such a frustrating feeling. It's like, where did the time go? But if you know when the best times of day are for you to do certain tasks, then you can set it up accordingly. And I'll talk about and show you how this works for me personally. So your morning routine may not look at all like mine does. You can keep track of when do you feel most energized, more creative, and mentally just more sharp. Number 3, I think, is one of the more important parts of this, is aligning your current goals with what you want your morning routine to be. Tailoring your morning routine to what your most important goals for yourself is ideal. And that is about creating the time in your day so that you can move toward whatever that goal is. That's why it's important that you know what your energy physically and mentally is like in the morning so that you can assign those things for the morning that suit it the best. So let me share how this may apply to you from my personal experience. There's been times where I've had incredible amounts of stress, and what has worked for me then is utilizing the morning pages, where it's in the morning, first thing when you wake up, you write 3 pages full of just free-flowing thoughts, and you just write till those 3 pages are full. It would take me 30 minutes. So obviously this is dependent on the size of the journal you use. And if you're using a bigger one, your pages are going to take longer to fill. But I relied on that for such a long time. I even remember telling my sister, if I didn't do my morning pages, I felt more stressed and anxious throughout the day. It was a stress reliever for me, and I needed that. And I continued to do that for quite a long time. And it took a good chunk of my morning. Eventually, I was doing other things, and I was just getting frustrated with myself because I wasn't getting things done. One point, I was doing some studying, taking classes, and I just couldn't find the time to get all the reading that I needed to get in. And I thought to myself, why am I still doing this morning pages? I don't actually need that right now, and I dropped it. And I actually felt a bit guilty about that. I got so hooked on writing those morning pages that I was really kind of leery about dropping it. But when I did, it freed up 30 minutes in the morning for me, and that's when I realized I was doing my studying, and it was so good to get that studying done first thing in the morning when I was the sharpest, which freed up time later in the day after work. So that's how you have to adapt to your goals that are happening to you and the changes in your life at that time. Another example is now I'm not studying, but my real big focus is getting physically fit by losing some fat around my waist and building some muscle. I am not a person that has energy to work out after my workday, so I have to do it in the morning. So now, because I'm not doing morning pages, I'm not studying for anything, now that morning time is spent on working out, like physically actually working out. And it is so good. And then the other thing is I alternate because I don't work out every single morning. I do that time now for making and planning videos, which I love doing because I need to be sharp and be able to have creative thoughts, come up with ideas, be able to write them down and get my words on paper so I can remember them. And this is an example of how you have to adjust your mornings. And what ends up happening is you're able to complete more things in a day and move closer to whatever goal it is that you've set for yourself. This doesn't mean that those things that I've done in the morning, like journaling, I don't do at all. I do. I have my journals and I'll write at different times of the day, but it's not needed in the morning. It's not a priority for me to do in the morning because it's not as strong a part of my day as it was, even though I still love doing it. So you shift the focus of what you spend your time doing in the morning to what serves you best for that day. If you're a person that really can't wake up and doesn't feel creative and can't feel sharp in the morning, then that is the time that maybe you do some other activities that are slower, that bring you to whatever goal that you want. Maybe you're doing some kind of a project that doesn't require a lot of thought, but it's repetitive. Maybe you do that in the morning. Maybe it's just a time you spend for yourself where you're reading, lounging, watching TV, whatever it is. Because when you realize what your energy and abilities are in the morning, you can move those tasks to that time of day so that time is spent more wisely. My current morning routine, it's not just about that one thing about working out. I'll give you a rundown of what I do. Right now, what my current morning routine looks like is that before I even get out of bed, I will take a few deep breaths and I will think about how this day will be the perfect day and how that would look. And then I also have some thoughts about the things that I'm really thankful for. I also will get up, go and have a big glass of water with some creatine. And if it's a morning that I'm working out, I'll have my essential amino acids in there too. I'll take that with supplements. And then I usually sit on the porch for a few minutes and look out into the distance at the trees to get some light, if it's light out, because in the winter it's dark out, so you don't have that. And then I will head on down to the gym and have my workout. I'll come upstairs, have coffee and maybe some breakfast. I might not have it right away. And then I'll sit at my computer for a little while. On the mornings that I don't work out, I'll have my creatine and water, supplements, make some coffee, sit outside on the porch, take some deep breaths, enjoy the light, and then I will get on my laptop and work for a while before I have to get ready for work. And that's kind of how my morning routine is right now. It has really evolved. It's evolved from everything from, I love having essential oils, diffusing in a diffuser. I have loved meditating. I have loved journaling. I have loved to do so many things, but there's a time and place. And it's really all about what's important in my life at the time. You can just take some of these things and experiment with them and just change them up to suit you, whatever feels the best for you and works the best for you. And remember, you have to be flexible. There is no one perfect routine. There's just the one that works for you. And you really have to customize it to yourself. But when you do that, you will realize that it sets the tone for the day. And it also allows you to get way more things done. And it gets rid of that feeling that the day has just flown by and you didn't get anything accomplished. I hope this video helped you rethink your mornings and gave you some ideas how to make your mornings work for you instead of against you. Leave a heart in the comments if you have a morning routine or if you want to try a morning routine, and even share what your morning looks like. This is the final episode in the Natural Wellness Guide for women over 50. So you can watch the whole playlist right here. And I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.